you're going to need God's help with whatever your journey entails. You're going to need God's help. You're going to need His mercies. You're going to need His blessings. When I was around 19 is when I was finally able to pick up juggling. And now it's something I can do if I'm feeling bored or tempted or whatever, and just do some juggling. The gifts God has given you are not meant to be hidden. They're not meant to be like, oh, yeah, just put these in my pocket and I'll never actually use them. They're meant to be used. You're going to need God's voice to help you to keep going and make the most of this limited time that you are on earth. We don't know how long you're going to be on earth. We do know that it is limited. And you're also going to want to make sure that you have time for books, things that will help you to move forward. I got this after I had John Lee Dumas on my podcast way a long time ago. So it's a good book, and it lays out a path. God has a path for you. He has plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. But you do need to walk in line with that. You do need to put yourself out there. I played a lot of Pokemon growing up, and in Pokemon, there's this one place that you barely spend any time at all, and that's home. When you start a Pokemon game, you get there, and your mom in the game is like, hey, you should go see the professor. So you go see the professor, they give you a Pokemon, and you're gone. You're out. You're getting gym badges, you're doing all that stuff. You're not spending much time at home. In today's day and age, we spend way too much time at home. Maybe you are getting some things done, cool, but I think a lot of us are sitting on our potential and our eyes are watching other people living their lives, which can be useful. But as I saw in this Instagram post last night, watching others play the game, watching others improve at life, watching others grow does not help you experience, does not give you any experience points. You could learn about chess and you could watch tons of chess. What's actually going to make you a good chess player is playing chess. You could watch every juggling video in the world. Juggling is one of those things, bro, you're not going to figure it out until you start juggling. Like if you've never juggled before and you're just like, okay, just good luck with that. Like I've put a good amount of hours into my juggling, not like tons and tons, but I don't know if that it's something, and it's something that I can rely on, that I enjoy, and I have some confidence in it. This is kind of where we're at. Oh no, you have to be good. Like with juggling, especially, you have to be okay at like throwing them at a respective height. See, my left hand is like throwing them way too high, but once you figure it out, no, I was ready for it to like work out really well. It also helps that I'm sitting down at a table. My point is that you need to be willing to let your gifts be shown, and you cannot hide them, because what if you have a gift that God only gave like a select few, you know? There's certain gifts that I believe you can work on and develop. Physical gifts, running, you can certainly improve on these things. But then there's other spiritual gifts that are very similar, and God gives those gifts to us to help us to benefit the kingdom. Maybe gift to write, gift to speak, gift to, do other things that He would do, and to help bring things along, right? And you need to treasure that gift. And in order for you to grow in this life, you're going to need to share that gift and make sure it's not hidden. So then people can find out, oh, like this guy is doing this guy's doing that. For me, building up my newsletter has been fun. And it has over 1,000 subscribers now on Substack. However, if I had not told people about it, it would still be only reaching the 13 or whatever people that it was reaching. So that's humbling. That's humbling. You could sit on your own potential and age and grow and never really see it unleashed, never really see it happen, never really see any of those fruits. You're going to have to work on things. You're going to have to show up to the table of God's blessings, like I said. Or maybe I didn't say it. I was going to say it. Because with God, you're always feasting. With God, you're always feasting. You can be grateful and choose gratitude, Like with having John Lee Dumas on my podcast, he was doing this huge podcasting tour, going to be on as many podcasts as he could. He was doing like 12 a day or something like that. And I remember sending him an email, and he was like kind of finishing up that tour. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can do it." And it was like, back and forth with John Lee Dumas. It's like, what's happening? But he's like, "I could do it right now." And it's like, okay. And then we jumped on, and it's like only like 8 minutes, but it was something. And I still have the recording. Lost the video. That's gone forever. But that's okay. You make the most with what you have at this point. It's always better to, send some stuff out there, get stuff out there. Me in the future is going to be grateful that I recorded this, regardless of if it gets any views or new subscribers or anything or not, because it shows I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm building, changing. If you lead on God's strength and you continue to trust in His vision, you will see things happen you could have never imagined happening. I've been struggling off and on the last couple of years with viewing pornography, usually around like 30 or 40 days of staying away from it. I'd fall back into it, have all this energy and whatever. Something amazing happens, something frustrating happens, things rarely uncertain. But for the last almost 100 days, I've stayed far away from it. And that's been humbling. Sure, there's been times where I've seen things, but it's like my response has been different. I run, I go run, and I go write. I pray to God, I turn to Him, I give it to Him. And there's been breakthroughs along the way. And one of the most recent, most beautiful ones was when I just kind of said this prayer. I was like, I'm content to watch you and to let you take care of me. And kind of asking that question, what would you like me to do to help me to figure this out? And there's some things He's kind of already told me, like writing more poetry and doing things like this, being more seen by the world and being in the world but not of the world, doing a daily YouTube live stream that I've been doing, over 20 days streak of doing that, writing more on Substack Notes. I'm on 3 days of doing that every day. That has been huge. It's been really good. But you're going to need God's help. You're going to need God's help. And that's okay. You are made for greater things. And God has big plans. He has big plans for all of us. The question is, I think, if we're willing to trust that and step in that. And He'll meet you wherever you're at. So if you're willing to show up at a really deep level, boy, you better believe He will show up like you could not have imagined. Yesterday, He really showed up for me this crazy, crazy, crazy level with my adventure to Layden. Could have had a camera crew or something like that if I had the money. But it was amazing. Suffice it to say, God is good. His miracles are, He does miracles today just like He did in the ancient times. So just keep trusting Him. You're going to need His help. You're going to need to make use of all these tools that He gives you, whatever it is. For me, I know juggling helps a lot. Reading good books helps a lot. Writing helps a lot. Doing this helps a lot because it helps me to feel heard and seen by myself. I realized that a lot of what I'm doing is helping me to hear my own voice, my own encouragement, or God's voice when I am faced with some challenge instead of what somebody told me when I was 12 or 15, So there's healing happening. Every day you turn to God, every day you trust Him, you're aligning yourself with something higher, some higher blessing, some bigger blessing. If God shuts the door, it's always something better. Sometimes the book has to end for another one to begin. So just continue to trust Him. You're going to need His help. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of my journey. A lot of great things coming. I write a weekly newsletter to help people become better instruments for Christ in the last days. And that's it. Thank you. You're going to need His help. Talk to you later.